and I'm doing on each side. Hello, all. It's October 31st, Halloween 2025. So, the Toronto Blue Jays, it's a baseball team, has made it to the finals of the MLB, which is called the World Series. And it's kind of a big deal in Toronto history, Toronto sports history. So, there's kind of this air of excitement. Like if they win today, they win the championship. And while I'm not a huge baseball fan, I do reside in this city. So I kind of want to see them win and see how the atmosphere of the city changes. I wasn't in Toronto when the Toronto Raptors won their basketball tournament and or the NBA Finals. Why did I say it like that? And apparently it was really crazy. And I want to see what happens in the city when a team wins. So hopefully they win. Today I'm going to do pretty much a circuit style workout. Um, I brought a 150-pound sandbag to the gym, and recently I've been working out a lot with it, and I want to show it within a workout or use it within a workout video. And at least initially, I'm going to do some work on the dead mill or manual treadmill. So recently, I've been doing a lot of sprints. So I'll like keep it at resistance 3 and do a sprint. And then I'll go to max resistance and then do like essentially like a sled push forward for about 20 to 30 seconds. So I try to do the backwards for at least a minute. So it kind of acts as like a thing that just kind of is like active enough, but it keeps the heart rate going, but not so high and doesn't feel that strenuous. That then leads into the sprint, which is kind of like an all out exertion. And then doing the sled push or manual push or whatever you want to call it at the end allows me to have sort of a cool down while still having doing muscular effort. Then the second movement in the circuit is this kettlebell flow complex thingy. So I'm doing a figure 8 into a lunge into a step snatch. Figure 8, lunge, step snatch. I'm gonna do this 3 times on each side. And then finally the sandbag movement. Um, it's been a while since I've recorded at the gym, so I'm not really sure of my angles anymore. Anyway, and how far I need to be from the camera and stuff. But essentially, what I'm doing, so it's a 150-pound sandbag. I'm essentially, oh, I think it's called sandbag over the shoulder throws. And I'm doing one of those on each side. So yeah, that's what I'm doing as a circuit to start, doing 5 of these and then on to the next. For the next set of movements with my 150-pound sandbag, I'm going to do sandbag carries back and forth on each shoulder. So starting with the left shoulder, this activates a lot of the core and it's quite the strenuous movement. Then switching sides. The act of getting it up to the shoulder is pretty grueling too. I've seen people toss around like 300-pound sandbag, and with how difficult this feels to me, tossing around a 300-pound just seems insane. Oh, then with two 20-pound kettlebells, going to do, I hope I'll try to be more in frame. All right, so going to do side to side double step snatches. So step snatch, then alternate leg, and do this 5 times on each side. So yeah, doing these 2 movements for 5 sets, and then on to the next. The previous sprints and the sandbag stuff was pretty exhausting, and so I'm going to end off with something kind of mellow. So using two 10-pound kettlebells, I'm going to put it around my feet and then pretty much bring alternate knee to chest essentially. It doesn't need to touch the chest, but you're kind of bringing it in that trajectory. Going for 10 on each side. Pretty much targeting the hip flexor and then the lower abs. After 10 each side of that, going to do leg elevated ATG split squats. So having one leg up and kind of bending into the knee, full stretch of the quad, bringing my chest out and stretching the hip flexor. I like pairing hip shortening movements and hip lengthening movements like this one. I just kind of like the contraction and stretch that I get when I do the movements back to back. And then switching to the other side after 5. While doing the movement, I'm like focusing a lot on the placement of the toes of each leg and how far the quad is stretched. So yeah, going to do this for 5-ish sets till my hip flexors feel kind of exhausted. Then probably 30 minutes in the sauna or something like that. But yeah, the Blue Jays just lost, and so Game 7 is tomorrow. And if they lose that, then they lose overall. Or I hope they win, and that'll be a cool story. Anyway, that's all for this video. See you all in the next one.
Jeez. Mm.